I didn't even talk today. Okay. Welcome to the JP and Carl podcast with your host, Carl.
This is JP.
And today we got two special guests. We got one guest that's returning. We got Max Lord over here. And we got a new guest on the show, Axum.
What's up, everyone?
So, Axum, why don't you introduce yourself and we can start from there.
Hi, everyone. My name is Axum. I've known Carl since college, and Max through Carl, and JP I just met today. Nice to meet you.
That's it? You don't want to talk about our adventures on third floor?
I mean,
you don't want to talk about all our escapades, all this other stuff?
That's what different did. There's a lot of that.
So today I brought Axum on and Max because they are very good when it comes to talking things political. We had a very good discussion a couple months ago, just talking about everything as it pertains to the direction of this country, how it affects the youth, how all these craziness that's happening this year, how the political spectrum, the scale just affects all that. And I just brought these two on because I know these two are probably the two smartest political people that I know.
Thank you.
And I just thought that we can just have a good conversation about it. So let's just get things started, get things rolling. Your phone died, so not died, but the screen didn't work. Technical difficulties. But so now that Biden's president, guys, you know what? I don't even want to get into that yet. How y'all Thanksgiving was? I didn't ask how your week was. I didn't ask you how you guys are doing. I didn't do none of that. How you guys doing? How you guys feeling? How's Thanksgiving?
I'll start. All right,
of course, Max loves to start.
Of course. My Thanksgiving was good. It was just between me, my mom, my sister, and my niece. It was okay. I mean, you're used to so many people there, but when it's smaller, it takes you back. You gotta sit back and look at the bigger picture, honestly, because that might just be what your family is when you do have the wife and the kids. So you never know. 2020 for me with this whole COVID crisis thing, it's been very interesting. It's opened my eyes to a lot of things. I was a lot thankful for a lot more this year because a lot of things changed for me. I didn't think I was gonna get the wood this year. I thought maybe next year if I was lucky, but this year, so I'm happy for that. I'm thankful for being alive, of course. Thankful for God. My brother's still doing good in Haiti, taking care of him as much as I could. My niece is healthy, my mom's healthy, my sister's healthy, I'm healthy, so I'm thankful.
Nothing to complain about. What you asked?
Honestly, that was good. That was good, right? No, I mean, mine was, honestly, besides everything Max just said, this is probably it's gonna sound so bad, but this is the quietest Thanksgiving I've had with my family, I mean, in a long time. We're usually loud and people don't leave until it's 1 a.m. in the morning. But this one, we had food on time. Everything was quiet. We played a little bit of games. Everybody went home early. It was good,
Did it feel like more of an appreciation too for closeness? Maybe it was a little bit more closer than ever, or?
It was closer than ever, and it was so quiet. I feel it was very uncomfortable for most people. It was just it's something is missing. This is not the same.
I definitely felt that too.
So I mean,
you missed the chaos.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of it actually. You missed the chaos.
It's annoying when you're in it a little
Yes.
bit, but then now that you don't have it, now that it's taken away, you're just kind of damn, I really miss that aspect. That's what makes Thanksgiving, the chaos of it.
My sister and I were talking, and usually people come to my mom's house for Thanksgiving, and the house is so packed that we like sitting on the stairs when we're eating food. But this time there was nobody in the house, and we're sitting on the dining table, and we're like, yo, this feels weird. We're used to eating food on the dining table because there's so many people. But now we're just this is different, So,
yeah, because even for me, my mom usually has friends from work and stuff come by, but it was just 6 of us. That was it.
Okay.
It was just quiet. It felt weird. She usually has an extra table set up for more people. It was different. But as Max said, and Axum said it, the quiet wasn't a bad thing overall. I didn't mind it. But it was just different.
I gotta say, same. I'm the same boat with all you guys. It was just to put in perspective. You know what? We all here. This year my grandfather passed, so first Thanksgiving without him. So, you know,
That
just
was different.
missed him a little bit trolling in the corner, just like and stuff like that. But you know, it was good to see, you know, my grandmother's still here, the close family's here, my first cousins, some second cousins. You know, we still kind of made it. It was like, I'd say instead of like the clan, like 40, 50 of us, there was probably like 10, 12 of us, you know. I guess it wasn't the 70 people mandatory.
I like what you said. I like what you said though when you said that it's the chaos that you normally have on Thanksgiving that you're missing this time.
They're missing, yeah, because normally I was like, yo, where's the food? I'm hungry, yo.
Right?
They're mad late. Where's everybody?
Yeah.
Like,
You gotta wait till everybody get there to eat.
can't eat. This year was just like, yo, everybody was there. Everybody sat down, they ate. Made talk basketball a little, made a couple jokes, and then everybody was out. You know, and like mad left. Yo, usually,
leftovers for days.
Usually don't have this much leftovers. I think like one day. I think it lasted the rest of the weekend and into like Monday or Tuesday. That never happened.
I think I finished my leftovers last week. I think
It was weird.
Max was going all out.
Yeah, it was weird, but honestly, just to tie it all together, it was just a lot to be thankful for this chaotic year. You know, I visited even my fiance's family. Usually they have like a whole, you know, Cape Verde, they got like the whole city of Brockton is in there. But you know, she had like a small Thanksgiving, and it was even a little bit weird for them. But you know, it was, everybody was happy. They were still dancing. I think there's just a lot to be thankful for. All our families can, you know, be appreciative of that. And you know, even though this year was very weird, just thankful for a lot. You know, thankful for you guys being here. Thankful for the family. Thankful for, you know, even my job. I was like, you know what? I'm thankful for my job. Even though,
I agree. No, I have to agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, even thankful for my job, put me in perspective. I was like, you know what? I complain a lot about working and things of that nature, but even like the timing that I transitioned from my old job to my new job was like
Perfect.
the most pristine, perfect timing.
Yeah, you are definitely blessed.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you know, I was like, yo, I wish I was making a little bit more bread, but I was like, you know what? All the people who lost their job and people struggling to find income, I'm not even gonna complain. It is what it is.
Honestly, it's so hard to complain now when you are, if you're employed and you have good health, there's really nothing
to complain about.
Yeah,
Literally, my
There's
thoughts.
really nothing you can complain about. You know?
Nothing
So,
to
because those are
complain
the
about.
main two things that everyone is struggling with right now: employment and health. Period.
Nothing to complain about, and honestly, just very thankful. So I guess we should, you know, let's kick it off now. I think the vocals are warmed up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we're warmed up, but let's start it. So as you know, in this November, something drastic just happened. We got Orange Man out the office.
Is he really out though?
Is he really out though?
Yes, he's out.
He's
Let's-
out.
Let's
Is he
stop
out?
it,
No.
please.
Is he out?
Yes.
Not yet.
He has to.
January or
officially-
20th is gonna be, you know.
Well, somebody needs to tell him that he's out. Because
Yeah, because I don't think he knows that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be very funny. According to the media, as the fake news would say, oh, it doesn't count until the electoral college gets voted in. This, technically, they're right. They're not wrong about that. But we know what it is. The American people chose Joe Biden to be our next president.
Man.
And I just have, you know, what do you think? And let's just start here. What do you think is going to change with Joe Biden in a sense where do you think that now that Trump is presumably going to be out of power, do you expect a real change?
I'll go first.
Max, go ahead.
All right, so what do I think is gonna change? Honestly, I think we're gonna go back to quote unquote normal when quote unquote Obama was president, and nothing really changed. The establishment got what they wanted. They got the diet Republican that they wanted. Because let's be honest, if you do politics, Joe Biden isn't really a Democrat in the sense of the word. He's a diet Republican. He's gonna fold to the other side like they always do. The other side's gonna be in the minority because when you're in the minority, you get the convenience of complaining about getting nothing done because you don't have any power, quote unquote. So nothing's gonna change with Joe Biden. He's gonna do what he did in Obama's run. Essentially, he's Obama 2.0 in a sense.
Well, actually, Bill Clinton did.
Yeah, essentially. So we're gonna see people who are actually qualified for positions that they should be in they're gonna be put in those positions, which I agree in a sense, but not with all of them. Unlike Trump, who was just giving people positions and they didn't deserve it, which was insane. Let's keep it up.
It was insane. You know what it was? It was genius.
No, it was OD. I'm sorry.
It was genius. You know why it's genius? Because put his boys, you know, to secure his.
Think about it. It was so
and look at how that worked.
I hope if you became the president that you would put me somewhere in there in that office.
Yeah,
I want
that's
you know,
crazy.
At the end of the
I'm
day,
gonna put you somewhere where I'm like, I bet, like, I need you to be, you know,
when I call you,
talk to the pharmacies, you know, because
That's crazy.
you know, I'm gonna need some stock in there when I'm out, you know. So
which is not
hold
supposed to be a
it,
thing.
hold it in my name, low key, you know.
But you know, in seriousness, nothing's gonna get changed. We're just gonna get depending on if the Democrats take the Senate or not. I think they're going to, but if they don't take it, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
if they do
that's
take
gonna
it, they're gonna have a supermajority. Supermajority is pretty much when the winning president's party gets the House, the Senate, and the presidency. That's a triple threat, meaning they can do whatever they want. The
I
other
don't
side
think
is
it's written in stone that they're gonna get the Senate.
I don't think-
no, we'll see. I think they're going to, but we'll see what happens.
Honestly,
I think they'll get it in year 2.
No,
year 3 or
they
4.
have to. No, they won't get in year 2.
if they don't get it this time, they're not gonna.
Oh,
get
they're
it.
not gonna get it next time around. Okay.
I mean, no, they might get it, but it's gonna be harder.
It's gonna be harder.
Yeah,
So now is the
So
best
I think,
opportunity. to
yeah,
choose
it's gonna be
something.
way harder. No,
Yeah.
so I think they're gonna get a supermajority. They're gonna say so. Pretty much supermajority is like when they have all 3 branches of government. So that means, by definition, they should be able to get done whatever they can get done. No, they're not gonna do that. They're gonna try to go to the other side. Oh, we have to come together. Bunch of nonsense about decorum, and nothing's gonna get
isn't
done.
that funny though? When that's how they operate, but the Republicans do not operate
Exactly,
that way.
and
They
that's
do whatever the hell
no,
they want to
and
do.
that's why
That's why he gets like-
and that's why today's Democratic Party is not democratic. It's a joke. If
No,
I'm
they're
being
you know what
honest.
they are? They're conservative light. That's what they are.
They don't want to be
Republican light.
conservative.
Watered down
Yeah,
Republicans.
pretty
They're
much.
watered down Republicans.
But I've talked a lot, so I'm gonna let you guys say something.
So, on that premise, so I can let you guys go off this. What do you feel is going to change in terms of, what do you guys like to see change in Joe Biden's administration? Like for you guys personally, and Max, I didn't ask you this, but what do you think, what would you like to see change that Trump couldn't do that you believe Joe Biden will do?
If they get the supermajority, I'd like to see them focus on fixing the buildings that needs to be changed, roads. I would like to see the infrastructure that Trump said he was gonna do be done. That's not gonna happen. Let's keep it above. I would like to see the troops removed that Trump said he was gonna do. That's not gonna happen. So I would like to actually see. Don't get me wrong. Trump had some great ideas. If a Democrat had presented it, it would be called radical. But because a Republican presented it, it's all well and good.
He's a populist.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's a fake populist.
Yeah.
But let's keep it a stack.
Yeah.
So I would like to see some of the things that Trump wanted to do, Biden followed through on it that actually benefits the country. But it's not gonna happen. Let's keep it above, please.
I'll let you guys.
I think that all Biden is gonna do is set things back to the temperature they were before Trump took office.
I agree.
It's not gonna
Exactly.
happen.
Right?
That's
100%.
impossible.
No. I think it's gonna happen, but it's not gonna happen overnight, right?
It's not gonna
Once
happen
we
in
get
these
over
4 years, bro.
No, listen to me. Once we get over this inauguration, right, and you know, things hopefully, like once he's confirmed, you know, he's sworn and everything goes fine, I think the temperature will start to go down a little bit. And I think that's all he's gonna do in terms of like what we see as people. But in terms of what's happening in the background,
Yeah.
I highly doubt much is gonna change. I feel like it's just gonna be the same shit we've been
Same
dealing
game.
with, you know.
Same
I
game.
totally agree with that. I was gonna say something along the same lines. I'm just hoping that when Biden takes over, that the racial climate, that climate, in a sense, is toned down a little bit.
No, let me stop.
So
you.
I think a lot of the Trumpsters or whatever, they're gonna go back into hiding.
Yeah.
For the majority.
Okay.
For the
You know
majority.
why? I'm gonna challenge you. You know why? The reason why I say it's not gonna happen, because by definition, a lot of them feels like Trump got screwed over, and because he's been saying for years,
But, you know,
he's gonna get screwed over.
It's gonna die down after a year.
It's gonna
You know
die
what
down.
I'm saying?
It's
Like,
gonna die down.
It's not. They're not gonna do it for 4 years.
No, not for 4 years. No, not for 4 years. But after 4 years, Trump said he's gonna run again. So essentially,
God.
no. He says no. He's gonna win. No, he's gonna run again. He's going to win. I'll bet.
No way.
I'll bet you a rack right now and tell you Trump's gonna win in 4 years if he runs again.
That's a big bet. You
Man,
really
yes,
are.
I'll bet
you
you
got
a
so many
rock
points
right
I want to touch upon. I personally believe that not a lot is going to change. I think that Joe Biden is going to run his presidency as a Republican,
As a diet
like a
Republican.
1980s Republican, which is pretty much a modern day moderate Democrat. I do believe he's gonna attempt, like me, social things that I'd like him to see change. If he can do two things, I would call him my forever president. If he did Medicare for all, and if he did,
Impossible.
huh?
Impossible.
Of course. And if he did relieve all student loan debt.
God, that's the one thing I would love to see
That
him
is
do.
how-
I would
that's
love to
possible.
see that.
And the
No,
reason why
that's not
the reason why I say that is because, as you can see during the pandemic, the stimulus that they were able to give to corporations was so OD, so crazy to me. Like it was like in the trillions, correct?
Yes, it was
And
how much is
3.4
student loan debt?
And the
trillion.
student loan debt is like not even the trillions, it's like billions, I believe,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And for me, it was just like, why wouldn't you put that stimulus into relieving all student loan debt, right? You're so concerned about, oh, the economy needs to be, we're losing money, we need to put money into the economy. If you relieve all student loan debt, then those students, which is pretty much the future of America, will now have good credit
Yes.
and more
Yeah.
income to spend
Yes.
where?
And
Mind
Back
you,
into the
70% of our economy is what? Consumption.
Exactly.
But my thing is that
So for me it's like I don't understand the problem with that. And when he was campaigning and his tools were campaigning for him, they're saying, oh, you know, we're gonna relieve the student loan debt, as they all do. Like I swear in my lifetime, that's what they all say.
yes, they do.
And then now he's like, oh, you know, there's programs out there already, and you know, we might be able to relieve like 10 grand.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
If you're
Yeah,
lucky.
literally when you say if you're lucky, we can
If you're lucky,
remove
if
10
you
grand.
qualify,
From each person.
From each person.
if you qualify,
Man, I'll take it. I don't.
no, but you got no.
I get
you
tight,
got,
bro, because it's like, no,
You gotta-
bro,
Yeah,
no,
you
I get what
need
you're
trillions
saying.
of corporations. You
I get
can't
what you're saying,
relieve
yeah.
like.
It's not good enough.
No, but here's the thing, JB. My thing is that, see, you've already, in a sense, they've already conditioned you to accept the fact that
That I got
you,
that.
that 10 racks you're going to be removed from, you'll take it because it's something. But that's not acceptable.
Yeah, no,
because
yeah.
these guys work for us, bro. Come on, they
you're
work
right.
for us. They're supposed to give us, essentially, like, you said you're going to do this, you're going to do that. You have to follow through. If you can't follow through, you need to be removed. Period.
Yeah,
you
don't
can't just
don't,
be...
don't say things that you really can't do just
Yeah,
to get.
if you
But I mean,
if you
isn't
say
that
that, you
what
can only
But that's what
That's
politics
politics.
No, no, but it's
I'm
the
gonna
thing.
promise you a bunch of stuff I'm never gonna, be able to fulfill.
That's
and
not
then
true. No, that's not true. You know why? Because Trump proved that you can fulfill those things. Let's keep it a stack. As much as I don't like Trump,
You just said he
has-
promised infrastructure he never
No,
built.
he,
So
never,
how did
he never followed through on it. But there are things that he did follow through on that he did accomplish.
Obviously,
Wait,
they're
wait.
gonna come through on certain things, but not everything. A lot of stuff
not
they promised they're
everything.
gonna come
No,
through.
not everything. But
Yeah.
he has done it though.
I mean,
Unlike
he's
most
wrong.
presidents.
Every
most
president promises, a bunch of stuff to which some stuff they're gonna come through on. They're not gonna come through on everything. They're not gonna come through on a lot of things. So it's like
Probably about
that's what
30%.
politics is. It's like you promise a bunch of stuff
30%.
you
I
want to
think
hear.
you're nice. I think like
30% you're
Yeah,
nice.
20%.
I think
like 5% of the things that
Yeah,
they
if you
promise
said like
actually
10,
do.
you'll be lucky.
And I believe that they always have an excuse. Oh, I didn't have the majority this time, or oh, the Republicans didn't want me to do this, or the Democrats. Oh no, the Democrats are radical. They're crazy. They're this, that, and the third. So I think it's a game. I think ultimately at the end of this, we're gonna come to the same conclusion. But I think this game won't end until like there's more than two parties. Like there has to be more than two parties.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
I agree.
across the global scale, it's like you see every other country, they have way more than like, unless they're a complete dictatorship, they have more than like two parties. And I think the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are so dominant that they know at the end of the day, they are one party.
Yeah, they're one party.
Essentially, when you think about it, they're kind of like two sides of the same coin.
Yep.
And like at the end of the day, they both adhere to one thing. One side may talk about how they're pro they're pro-life and from a moral standpoint they might be different, and the other side is like, oh, we're about the traditional values of the country, but at the end of the day one thing is their daddy, and it's money.
That's
I
a
think-
fact.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fact.
They both need each other to
Oh.
survive, because I feel like the dirty work one party does is what's required for the other party to do whatever they want to do, because
Yes.
it's like
I agree.
they can't, one cannot exist without the other.
No,
period.
they,
that's
So
no,
it's like,
it's a good game to keep them in. I think again, they're one party in power, so that it's like, oh, if we fall back, you can, oh, we can play this game where, oh, now the American people think that this party is going to help. When behind closed doors, they're still working together to accomplish their agenda.
Yeah.
So,
but let me ask you though, if there were to be a third party, hypothetically,
No, technically right now there's 4 parties, but the other 2 get snubbed.
They
I
don't
mean,
matter.
they don't.
They don't
really-
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
What would the third party? What would their values be, or like what would they stand for that would make them different from what the Democrats and the Republicans currently are?
So I believe, though I don't agree with everything from more standpoint that Bernie believes in, I believe that Bernie on his faction of the left could be its own party. I think AOC, Bernie, you know,
Yeah,
the squad.
Yeah.
I think I don't know their names.
I know.
I can't pronounce their names. That's
It's
why.
okay.
The squad. I think they have an ideology which is very similar, and you know maybe Elizabeth Warren to a fake
No,
degree.
Elizabeth was not. No, Elizabeth Warren is a sellout. Let's stop that right
When
now.
she sold out to that
No,
side.
Let's stop right now. She's not. She's a disappointment.
I said that to get him going, but but I think to a larger degree, I think they could be their own party because I feel like a lot of people our age and younger side with them a lot, you know? And I think that as far as the conservatives are the conservatives, and we don't want that alt-right to be its own party like ever.
But that's where it's leading.
And
That's where they
that's where
want
it's
to
leading
go,
because
bro.
they're saying the Trump base is gonna be like that. Its own party
Exactly.
soon.
That's
But-
crazy.
But to what you're saying in terms of Bernie and the squad and that really far leftist, like, do you think that they would have any chance though against the Republican and
I think what stifles them honestly is the core Democratic Party, like the center
They don't have
leaning
any
more
backup.
right, because they don't usually. And the problem with the left is too, the far left is that they kind of like talk big to us, like, yeah, we're gonna do these changes, this, that, and the third.
They have a big
But then
ideas.
once their corporate daddies say no, you're gonna fall, they fall in line. Like they literally will just fall
Yeah,
in line.
they do.
Like Bernie for example. Bernie has been done this decade. Bernie has been done the dirtiest.
Oh yeah,
Twice.
yeah.
And the whole
Without a
unit.
doubt.
Twice.
Without a
Right.
doubt.
This whole
Twice.
decade he's been done the dirtiest. And the fact that they call him radical and nuts, and then every 4
Yeah,
years they
run
kind of
on
like they
something he
run
says.
on his policies. For me, it's like wow. And then the fact that Bernie doesn't just say like, no, if you want me to campaign for you, and if you want me to be a voice, because you need my voters, you need those young voters.
That's a fact.
I need a place in your
need a guarantee.
and I need a guaranteed spot in your establishment and in your administration. The fact that Bernie just bends the knee and like says like just does whatever the Democrats want, the corporate Democrats want, and he does it for them, and he demands nothing, and they just cast him aside and they call him radical right when they get what they want. To me, it's just like that is their problem right there.
I think of the parties on like a tipping scale, right? So we have like Republicans on the far right, and then we have the Democrats to the middle, and then we have the leftists all the way to
No, the
the
Democrats-
end,
the-
to the left.
The corporate Democrats
But
need
it's
more.
like this, where the Republicans are up, and then anyone who's too far left is like drowning in water.
Yeah.
They can't. You have to be somewhere in that middle line, closest to the Republican in terms of Democratic, to even be heard.
Yeah.
In a
Yeah,
sense,
yeah,
because
yeah.
But my issue with that is the Republicans don't do that. Like you understand? They don't even try to.
that's the worst part. That's
they
the-
don't
that's
even
the most
try to meet
frustrating
them.
shit,
Yeah.
like-
So like it's funny because the corporate Democrats or the Democrats, right? They're literally conservative light
Yes.
to the point where they try to meet. They try to make like for Obama's whole tenure was literally trying to make the Republicans happy.
Yeah, he
But
really
if you think
was.
about the
He
scale,
really was.
if those same Democrats moved from the middle and went to the far left, it would just be level.
It
and
would.
The Republicans wouldn't have any leverage over them. If you think
They
about
don't
it, but they
stand for
don't do
nothing,
that.
bro.
They
They
don't
don't
stand
stand
for
for
anything
nothing.
that
Yes,
they say.
what do you think is the Democrats' biggest problem? Like, if you had to pick out one, just one, forget everything else that's going
I'll tell
on.
you, it's
What's
money.
the number one biggest problem?
It's money. That's their biggest problem.
Okay,
They-
money.
they-
No, hang on. Money. What do you say?
Okay. I can't even put it on, but
I know there's a lot of
if I
them.
had to pick one, I think their biggest problem is their play on identity politics.
Okay,
I
what about
agree
you?
too. That-
I agree with that.
and I agree
That's
with
what I was
that
gonna say too.
No,
I think Democrats' main problem right now is identity. They don't
right
have
now.
one.
They don't.
Period. And if you don't have one, you can't go and convince people to vote for you in any shape, form, whatever you want to say, if you can't even identify yourself for what you stand for, because if you, like you said, you have people all the way on the left, and you have people all the way, like, you know, the progressive.
It's a civil war right now.
It seems like
It's a civil war in the Democratic Party.
and the Republicans have that down to a science. They're like, we stand for the economy. We
This is
stand, that's
They
it.
stand for money. They stand for money, and that's it.
Look,
They
if you
know
get
that,
politics
bro.
simple to like the simple layman, you're gonna get their vote 100% all the time. If you tell them, what do you stand for? I stand for the economy. I stand for the United States. Period. You got my vote.
Yeah.
Democrats, what do you stand for? And they're gonna give you a list of things.
Because they're playing on
Yeah,
everybody
but
else's.
they want to be everybody's friend.
Right.
The Republicans, like, what I respect about them is it's simple. Military and the power of capitalism.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
That's
it.
it.
They don't care. They don't care if half this nation dies. If they made another 5 trillion, they're good.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It justifies the
Good.
needs. That's
Good.
it.
Yep.
So for me, it's and you. That's a great point, Axel. For me, it's the Democrats. They're all over the place. One day they're like Black Lives Matter, defund the police.
Immigration.
Immigration,
Affordable
LGBTQ+,
care, it's like-
affordable health care. But no, but we also believe in the economy as well. But
Not as much.
but we want to save the environment too. And we got to get out of the wars. But we want to save the wars. We have to stay because we want to make nice with Iran, but
It's
start
too
stuff with
it's too
Korea,
confusing. It's too
Right,
confusing.
with North Korea. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like.
It's like pick a fight.
Pick a fight. Exactly.
Pick a fight and stick
And
to it.
stand on it, yeah.
I agree.
And it's too all over the place, and it goes to let's transition here. It's like, do you believe that this administration is really going to lessen the tensions that's happening in our country between the identity, the different ethnic backgrounds? Do you think that like this? Do you think this question is so multi-layered?
Yes, it is.
Do you think that when Trump leaves, do you believe that all these racial tensions that's happening, especially people of color, of our communities, do you believe that we're gonna have a sense of security again?
No.
Or do you believe that all these racial tensions are just gonna leave once Joe Biden is in office? Do you believe that Trump is the creator of this, or do you believe that's more the media's?
Let me answer this. Hang on one second.
I asked so many questions, but
Yeah, I was
No,
gonna say
no, you're good.
there are a lot of questions in that question you just asked, right? I feel like what's happening right now is not Trump's cause.
Right.
Agreed. I agree.
Amplified
100%.
it.
I agree 100%.
Exactly. Trump amplified what was
you
already
think
there.
he
Who's already happening? Oh, yeah.
Well, no, I don't
to a
think.
certain extent.
To a certain extent, he amplified it. I feel like with his platform and his power, and given like what he could have done to maybe not do as much,
yeah.
he did amplify it.
But I guess I gotta be the bad guy. But would you say that the media? Because I personally believe the media more than anything.
Yes and no.
I mean,
yes
yeah,
and no. Yes and no.
I get what you're saying.
Yes and no.
I get what you're saying, but
Yes and
no, here's the difference though. What the media did is like almost like put like let's say like an echo on what Trump was doing,
On target.
right? Trump grabbed a loudspeaker and he said ABCD whatever he said, and the media picked up whatever he said and echoed it back.
I wouldn't even say
That's
whatever
what they did.
I wouldn't even say whatever he said though. I think they just it's like a sound bite. They got the
Well,
sound bite.
yeah,
and
but he
they
did
echoed
say that though. Yes.
So my thing is that here's my thing. For example, the statement on what's it called? Him not supporting the Max, you know this. Him not supporting the racist people,
The boys.
The Proud Boys?
the Proud Boys, etc.
Oh man.
So
Condemning racism.
So he's condemned it many times on footage.
Yeah, he
Trump,
said it.
see,
He
I
has
like
said
that
that.
reaction.
No. He has
Many
said it.
many times. Many times.
Hold on, I know what you're saying.
Wait,
No,
what?
He has said it.
Many
Yes, he
times,
has
like
said it.
many
When he
times,
say that.
he's condemned
I won't
racism.
front. He has said
Yeah,
it.
many times. And this is why I'm trying to be objective and
No,
fair.
yes, I agree.
Many
He
times
has said
he
it,
has.
yes.
But based on the media source you watch, they say he's never done it. And like, there's literally like a video. I didn't believe it until I had to see it. There's a video during his presidency. You can say, "Oh no, this was like before his presidency."
No, he said it.
During his presidency, he's condemned racism so many times. So my thing is that, again, do I believe he's racist? Yes. Okay, like ultimately, yes. Yeah, I do believe he's racist. There's a part of him that's racist, or he's prejudiced. There's something about him that I agree with you guys. If he's not putting the gasoline on it, he's getting a flamethrower and putting more fire on it. You know, he's doing something to contribute to that fire. But can I say that he gets unfair media coverage
Yes.
and a lot of the things that they say
Yes.
is very exaggerated?
He does.
Yes,
Yes,
I
let's
do.
not-
I do.
But
I
stop,
do.
stop,
No, I
stop.
agree.
Listen, he is the president, or he was the president.
Exactly.
So,
Okay.
when you think about him amplifying that tension, when we have certain situations like people getting shot by the police and stuff like that, when he comes to speak on those topics or they put the platform on him, he's supposed to help or like dilute
temperature
that
down.
tension. Yeah, bring it down. He
No,
did
you're
not
right.
do that in any,
No, you're right,
any
you're right.
way or
Yeah,
form.
that's what you expect because you've had examples of Obama, Clinton, Reagan, and so on. But Donald
no.
Trump is a unique being, bro.
So-
he
so-
is a
so-
he can be.
narcissist.
He
So,
can
so
be.
what would you
No,
argue?
As a president, he can be.
So,
He's not supposed to be, but he doesn't care, bro.
but I would
I
say
think Max is right though. I feel like Trump is incapable of feeling
Trump is a narcissist, bro.
sympathy.
Sorry,
right?
yeah.
He's like, you're right. He's a narcissist. So it's like, I feel like as a country, we ask too much of him in putting him, as making him president of our nation. Because, for example, like when like you said, if there was a mass shooting, right? Any normal person, right? Just the empathy alone, you're gonna say the right stuff without even having the script in front of you, right?
Exactly.
But we know he's incapable of doing that, and somehow gonna turn it back on him. So I feel like that's our fault because we ask way too much of him, and maybe we shouldn't have in the first place.
No,
This man in
no,
power
it
in
is
the
our
first
fault.
place.
Yeah, exactly. No, it
So-
is our fault because he got the position, but at the same time, he ran and he won. Why did he win?
Why did he win?
No, he won.
He won.
No, he
No,
won.
you're right.
He won
We
simply
still
because
get
he won, and I know you're gonna continue on this. He won simply because, and even now, this is why there's a fear he's gonna win again. in
He's going
2024.
to win against
Come on.
him. There's no
But this is why it's a
fear.
fear. This is why it's a prominent fear. It's because the Republican base, the conservative base, Trump is the face of it.
Exactly.
The-
And
like
they
he-
don't want to admit that.
And the thing is that no one cares about Mitt Romney.
Nope.
Like, think
Paul
about it.
Ryan.
At least the
Who
Dems
cares?
have this for them. The Dems have the next generation of politicians coming in. They can say that. How many young Republicans do you know running? You know,
None.
like, and I pay attention to this. None.
I know,
It's just
I know.
old. It's just old, rich.
Republicans.
Oil, war hungry Republicans.
It's the same page.
And the thing is that their hope is, I don't even know her name. They're trying to get this young woman, like this young,
Nikki Haley.
I think so.
Oh, Lord.
They're trying to
Oh,
have her
stop.
one in like
Oh,
the
my
next
goodness.
because
She's gonna get destroyed.
because the establishment
bro.
does not want Trump to win no matter what.
But he's
You
going
guys
to
think, you
win.
guys think Sarah Palin is completely out of the picture now?
Sarah Palin is a
yeah.
joke. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
but
It was just a question. It was just a question.
but to
man.
keep us on topic. So you guys ultimately believe that racial tension is still just going to be there. So we agree that it's not something that Trump created, because the media made it seem like he created it. Let's be
Yes.
honest.
Let's be honest. Yes,
They made it seem like
good
they made it
ratings.
seem like the world was perfect until Trump came, and then racism exists.
Yeah.
And then when Joe
Yeah,
Biden
that
comes, they make it seem when Joe Biden comes back, that just like you have these grown men crying on TV because Trump is not going to be president anymore, and they're like crying like, nah, my son has somebody to look up to. And I'm like, all right, man, that's a conversation for another day. But I was like, I was just like, all right.
Say his name.
He's a fool. He's a fool. That's what I'm gonna say. He's a fool. Van Jones is a fool.
He really does, bro. That was
To
one of
do
the
that, like a
saddest
grown
things
man
I've
to do
ever
that,
seen,
he's a
bro.
fool.
As a black man too, bro. Come on.
All right, but that's a
What are we
complex for a
doing?
whole nother day, man. That's a whole nother like daddy, mommy thing.
No, but to answer your question, with the Trump thing, no, it's not gonna die down. Where is it gonna die down from? Do we know Joe Biden's history? Joe Biden, the guy that created the crime bill. Well, there's a video of him
But
saying,
it was a different time, and the country was in chaos.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
trying to
I don't
look
like.
at it.
I don't like when y'all like try to
Let's try this. Let's try this.
kill Biden on that one stand that he
no, it's
had.
not just that one thing, bro.
No, but-
it's really not.
But
That's what he's
objectively
known
speaking, though, it was a different time, and
I
crack was going crazy, especially in the black community. It was running rampant, maybe thanks to Reagan, but it was going crazy in the it was because they said it was a different time, and we weren't here for that time. They say it was really like the crack pandemic was a real problem, and they said that the crime bill really, I guess, in a sense, helped cleanse the streets.
That's crazy. Like we know who Joe Biden is. Just look up his history, bro.
No,
See,
honestly-
this is my issue. Hold on. This is my issue. we get mad when we get the options we get presented as it's this, we're going with this. But do anybody really look at these people's records, how they govern, what they did in their position, how they voted, what they did, what they didn't support, what they did support? All those matter. Like look at Kamala Harris. Yes, would I like to have the first female vice president? Yes, but I don't want it to be someone just because she's black. She's a woman and she's of Indian descent.
You're nice, bro. You're nice. You're so sweet, bro. Because at the end of the day, she didn't even claim she was black until like last week, bro. She spent her whole life, though. She didn't even claim her African American side at all, bro. Until last week, she was raised Indian, bro.
I don't like that concept.
Yo, that rubbed me the wrong way.
For me, your resume, it's all about your resume. I don't care what color you are, whether you're a female or you're a man. It's your resume. Your resume speaks to who you are and how you're gonna govern. And Joe Biden, to me, was not a good option. Kamala Harris, terrible VP option. But if I say Bernie should have been the president, people are gonna say, "Oh, I'm being biased." I'm not being biased. The only reason why I say Bernie is because look at his record. The guy's been talking about the same things for 40 years. He's like one of the few very consistent politicians, and that's why I would want to vote for him. Yes, am I saying do I want everything that he's saying is gonna get passed? No. Is he gonna get past everything that he says he's gonna do? I don't think so, because he's gonna have the Republican Party, he's gonna have the so-called Democratic Party fighting him. So it's gonna be hard for him. But at least he would have won. It would have been Democratic. What happened to him was a joke. The fact that we let it happen again, to me, is like, what are we doing? Like, this, where are we going as a nation if this is what we're accepting? Because I don't get it.
I feel like Bernie's misfortune is always timing. If you think about it, right? Bernie's always just had that bad timing when it comes to running. Because there was no way this election, no matter how much people like Bernie, they were going to vote for him. Because there was no way Bernie could have beat Trump.
That's not true, no. Donald Trump himself said, and this was behind closed doors. No. Trump himself said that if Bernie ran, it would have been tough for him because he didn't know how to tackle Bernie. He had the whole socialism thing, okay, but
he's going to scare people who support Bernie. Like,
I know, but that's the thing though. That what is Trump going to attack him on? Okay, the whole socialism thing. All right, what else you got?
What do you think Trump's supporters want to hear?
No, you cannot attack someone on one topic.
I think it would have been tougher for Bernie because I do what you're saying.
You really thought Bernie couldn't beat Trump if he ran against him?
No,
come on, Max.
Yo, Trump said it himself. It's not me that's saying this. Go look it up. Trump himself said that he would have had a hard time beating him, bro.
I believe that because
with this pandemic.
No. Whoa. I think if Bernie didn't win this time, this was Bernie's greatest chance.
This was Bernie's greatest chance.
Anybody coming out the left, anybody coming out, this was his. Come on, Max. Objectively speaking, anybody coming out this time would have beat Trump.
No, do you know why I said
anyone would have beat Trump?
The reason why
anybody would have beat Trump.
The reason why I said last time,
Max, of all people, I'm surprised you think Bernie would have beat Trump.
Hillary Clinton was so despised, bro. I don't think you guys.
No, but again, like I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying though. I'm not discounting that Bernie didn't have a strong shot last time. Maybe not. But I think he didn't get nominated. But I'm saying this time, especially when he was gaining traction in like January before the pandemic, Bernie was very popular.
Yes.
And like I said, this was probably Bernie's best chance because the pandemic totally flunked Trump. Yeah, and the thing is, Bernie's talking points would have been on Medicare for all, student loan debt, and government and stimulus. And what do we need now this year more than anything? Yeah. Debt relief, student loan debt. What else? Stimulus, and most important of all the people that died because they couldn't afford healthcare. Yeah. Bernie would have won, bro. Seriously, Bernie would have won. This would have been his best opportunity.
But look what happened. Obama came.
Obama's
talked to all his goons, and they dropped out, bro.
No, I really seen a different side of Obama this time around. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm glad your eyes opening because I seen this years ago.
I've seen this years ago, bro.
Obama, you know I knew Obama was about the money, bro. It was when his whole council was Citibank, bro.
Pretty much.
His whole squad was Citibank. The moment this dude wasn't president anymore, this dude went to go get the bag, bro.
That's how it happens. That's how it happens. You can't get all the money while you're in the office. You gotta get it after you get out.
Get the bag, bro. You know what I'm saying? What this dude was like, as much as he was talking down on Wall Street, his whole presidency, this dude goes, gets a bag, gets a whole, him and Tucker Carlson go on the same conference, I believe, and get a bag from Wall Street. After this man, Tucker Carlson was trashing you for your whole presidency. And you over here trashing Wall Street, and then look at you, you go on Wall Street and get that. I'm like, yo, I'm about the bag, but at the end of the day, he's a corporate Democrat. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, out of his own lips, he literally said he runs his administration like a 1980s Republican. And who was a Republican in the 1980s? Who was? Ronald Reagan. Who passed the Affordable Health Care Act and called it Obamacare? Ronald Reagan. Obama, you know what I'm saying?
It's Ronald Reagan's healthcare,
the thing that I appreciate about Obama is he don't lie. It's just that his people, his base, that he knows is just not smart enough to put the pieces together. Obama don't lie. Don't get me wrong. He don't lie.
They're crazy about him.
They're crazy.
Oh my God, Obama.
Obama sells you the personality.
There you go. There you go.
He comes with the charisma. He got, he sweet talk. He sounds intelligent.
He's the modern day Reagan, bro. People don't want to admit it. He's like the modern day Reagan, and it's like I'm not mad at him, bro. Again, it's a cool like. I won't even front. I don't agree with everything he's done, but like, would I want to have a conversation to Obama? Yeah, he's a chill dude to hang out with. You know, like he looks like a dude. Unlike I wouldn't want to chill with Trump and like. And Bill Clinton, like they look like boring dudes. Like, but Obama looked like somebody, and I chill with George Bush too. He looks like he's fun. Like,
I'll chill with Trump.
You chill with Trump?
I'll chill with Trump.
I would chill with Trump. I would chill with Trump.
You probably end up in jail. I don't know.
No. Honestly, I feel like with Trump, all you gotta do is just say something, and he's gonna go up to
you. Say something nice to him. That's it.
Not even nice.
You just gotta rub his ego.
Yeah, pretty much. Just rub his ego. Tell him he's great.
I feel like if I was around Barack Obama, I'm gonna have to be so proper. Make sure I don't say anything.
But I think Obama overall is a chill person.
He's a chill dude. He played ball. He said he went. I saw him on House of Highlights shooting hoops. Like this dude is like really he's a smooth guy. That's what he is. He's a really smooth dude. And I think his charisma, like you said, actually, he captured the hearts of a generation. He definitely did. That's why they call him the forever president. Like, they're our forever president. That's why they call him that.
But I feel like, going back to what we're talking about, for me, with the racial tensions and all that stuff going down with the temperature currently the way it is, I feel like that depends upon how Joe Biden chooses to, I feel like he's been saying it, but once he puts it into action, I feel like it's the only way all this stuff is going to go down. He's been saying, I'm a Democrat, but I'm going to be a president for all the people. I feel like once he gets in office and he stops talking about, like, whatever stuff Democrats only want to hear about, and then he just talks about things everybody wants to hear about, I feel like he's going to bring the temperature down. Exactly.
Yeah, he's gonna have
That's the only way it's going to happen. If he doesn't do that and only caters to, like, one side,
it's chaos.
Yeah, it's going to be chaos.
Yeah, it's going to be over.
But in terms of, like, the racial tension, like things that are happening that are causing the racial, like the ridiculous shootings of black people and stuff like that, I don't think so. Those things have been happening. Mm-hmm. They've been happening. It's just that when Trump came on scene, like he didn't really help the situation.
No, he didn't help calm the situation.
He didn't help calm the situation. But those things have been happening. I hope that when Biden and Harris come into presidency, hopefully they can try to address stuff like that in terms of like police. Not saying defund the police, so I think that might be kind of outrageous statement.
I think with
reform.
I think defund is like because people can't read.
Defund
doesn't actually mean you're taking everything. Like if I defund like somebody, it doesn't mean I'm completely cutting you off. I'm just taking some fund out of it.
But do they need funds taken away, or do they need more money for training?
Because they want to get money they want to defund someone or take away some money and put it into other institutions like community centers, YMCA's, things of that nature, because they believe, the far left believes that if you do that, you're going to be able to, quell some of the other issues that's happening in our community, ethnic communities.
I feel like also when they're doing that, they should also think about.
But I agree to an extent.
They need to redefine police responsibilities.
I agree 100%.
That's what I'm saying. Training. I think they should just take
all
the police
training. Forget training. Just define what police is supposed to be doing.
What is their job?
When you say protect and serve, that's very vague.
Yeah.
What's protection and what's serving? Like, who am I serving, right? But if you clearly define, you're supposed to do A, B, C, D, right? So when even like we as a community, we call them the police, we know what we're calling them for. We know what police.
We know what's gonna happen.
Everybody knows why we call the fire department, right?
Yep, that's a fact.
You know why you call them. We call the police for everything. Yo,
which
this
is
is
terrible.
for everything.
Which is
So I feel
terrible.
like they're kind of put in a tough position to be like, yo, we respond to any and everything, right? So it's like you said, yeah, the training, you know, is a part of that. But I feel like you can't train someone with so many responsibilities. Like you can't cover every single responsibility to get
Yeah.
I think
I agree.
with reforming the police, I think a major thing that they miss on is I believe we need more people that look like us, that come from our communities, that come from those specific communities to police us. Because I think they have a better way of responding and understanding what's going on versus like you grab, for example, I live in Brockton, you grab somebody from like the suburbs of like Bridgewater or, you know, Plymouth that polices in Brockton. So they already come with a lot of biases and you know, whatever beliefs they have, and they don't understand the environment, the Caribbean, Haitian, Dominican, etc. community in Brockton.
When people in those communities don't want to be police, how do we get that stigma
that's what I was gonna
away
say.
from?
I'm like, not only that, that's a very good point, but also, you know, what happens to, you know, if a police in a city where, you know, they don't have as many resources, where they might need, you know, all that kind of policing, but they don't have the resources to hire the kind of people they want, or even have the equipment they need to address stuff like that.
And that's where the funding comes from.
Well, my thing is that then what are they funding? Because
exactly.
Because I know from my police department in my city, there's one cop that is almost a millionaire, I think.
Like how?
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't understand. No, not almost a million. Exaggeration. He's 220, still a lot. 200. He made $225,000 because he's a lead detective, and I'm just like, you're a cop, bro.
There was
what?
No, he's right. There was some paperwork that was released from the police department of, I think it's Medford.
Mm-hmm.
There was almost like 10,
yes,
more than 10 people who
I
made
saw
more than
that.
6 figures.
You were making bread.
More than
Yeah,
6
yeah,
figures, and I was like,
It's a
for
regular
you're a
cops.
cop, bro.
What?
I have no idea.
Like wow, like I would think, wow, the streets of Brockton is like you guys are like Batman. Like it should be clean. There should be like there should be no crime. And yet Brockton is one of the worst police cities. So what not police, but one of the most crime-ridden cities. No one listens, even the pandemic. No one cared about any of the rules happening in the pandemic in Brockton. So you know, for me, it's like, okay, you say lack of staff, lack of resources, as you would say, right? And that's their excuse. But it's like then I look at the police report and so are getting paid all this money. So it's like how are you lacking resources?
Yeah, why are you paying these people so much
money? And that's the defunding. Take that money, put it into better.
And while I see like a lot of Brockton public school teachers being let go out of their jobs,
which doesn't make any sense.
and then you complain about the education system, and then it's failing them, and then that leads a lot of
just
kids.
Put that money back.
You see, exactly. That's the defunding.
The bottom line, you're looking at job security for the cops. Period. Because if you keep defunding the education system, but you keep putting more money with cops, you know, kids don't get education. They end up doing the crime.
In the streets.
The
cops pick them up. And
crazy.
Then
It's a cycle. It's a game. It's a game.
The prison industrial complex benefits off of that. That's who benefits, bro.
Corporations. At the end of the day, in the name of capitalism. And there you go. And that's why Republicans are happy. It's a cycle that starts here in the community, and that's the thing. And that's my issue too. As we move the conversation along, it's like, when are we going to get to a point where we need to stop choosing between the lesser two evils?
I don't know about you, but I didn't. I didn't vote for Biden or Trump.
Because isn't that like shameful?
That's
that
very
we
sad.
have all these people that run, and somehow we got two people we don't even.
can't
Keep it a
stand.
stat. A lot of people didn't even like Joe Biden.
No, they didn't.
How do you get to a point where you're like the person that you have are people you don't even like?
But when has
rock
it
with?
not been like that?
Exactly, and that's the
But
problem.
I can honestly say
that's the problem.
But I can honestly say, right? Though I don't agree with every policy that he has, Obama, a lot of people wanted him there.
What was his
His first term,
I'm not gonna.
not second term, but his first term.
I'm not gonna bring down his time,
I agree.
but I think him being black in general just amplified.
Oh
Yes, bro. Yes,
Because
100%.
for some reason, some people, felt they lost their country, and when getting Trump, they got it back.
Yeah,
So
I've literally heard someone say that, like, oh, I feel like I got the country. I was like, when did you lose it? Like, what? Obama was president for 8 years, bro. He wasn't gonna stay there forever. When did you lose it? I don't understand that concept. I don't know.
I think for us to get to a point where we're choosing not one of the two lesser evils, we have to fundamentally change the way we, elect politicians in the first place. Or
where does that start?
I feel like what?
And where does that start?
That's a good point. I feel like we have to revise the qualifications required for the people who are currently in office.
I agree.
Right? Starting from the top down. Because I feel like if you look at the current, what's required for somebody to be a president of the United States, it's very basic shit.
Yes.
Honestly, it's so basic. Like,
Yes.
I mean,
Listen,
trust.
No, yes, it is.
You're right.
Listen,
Right.
Listen, Axel. Like, it's like, if I was gonna do reform, right? First and foremost, I don't think anyone under the age of 35
Yeah, 35 to
to
58.
to 58 should run for president.
No. I agree with you. I 100% agree.
And
with
because
you.
I'm tired of these old dudes. in
Their
office.
values, they
get
can't-
on my nerves, bro. How is Joe Biden going to speak for what I need right now?
No, but here's the thing, though. I don't think we shouldn't, just judge their experience based on how old they are. I feel like we can't use their age as something.
But you're saying that's
No,
ageism. You're saying that's
it's
ageism.
ageism. Here's
No,
what I was
it's
gonna say.
not.
Here's what I was gonna say. Maybe they shouldn't, like, when it comes to the president, maybe they shouldn't be. We should have an age cap, right?
Yes, that's what
but,
I agree.
but not have an age cap for every single position in office.
Oh, I believe we should.
Well,
Because
I
no,
believe-
hear me out. Certain positions,
that's hard. That's
certain
hard.
positions require you to have a
Wisdom.
certain
I
level of
get it.
experience, and you can't get that experience unless you're a certain age. For
Okay,
example,
that's
I'll give you an
fair.
example.
That's fair.
Look at the people in the Defense Department, right? Those major generals. You can't become a major general at
You
that
can't
point.
put nobody else
Yeah,
35.
exactly. Like
No, I get that. And I get that.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
I was thinking more. And I agree with what you're saying. I was thinking more like governor,
Yeah.
Senate,
No, yes.
House of Rep. People people who's representing us. Even president. I like, honestly, I'm gonna keep it a stat. I can only say Obama ran on things that I can relate to.
Somewhat.
Because his age gap between him and me, yes, it's vast, but it's not crazy. It's not like absurd. Versus I would say Trump and Bernie and
Biden.
they're in their 70s. They literally they were in office when Reagan was there, or when Reagan was coming on, or at least one of the Bushes, at the very least one of the Bushes, the first Bush. And you're telling me these guys in 2020, who's been in here since the 80s, actually, who've done nothing in 40 years, let's be real, they really haven't really done much in all those times that they were in office. Now we're giving them the say to be like, okay, this is what we want to do, this, that, and that. Like, no, bro,
I think
get
we
out of
should
here.
cap it at the retirement.
At the retirement age. So you
If
can't
you
run.
retire, you can't run.
You can't run at like 50. My math might be wrong, but it's like at 58.
Yeah, 58 is the number.
Because if you have the term of 8 years, it's like what, 66? What's the retirement age? 65, 66?
65,
66? I'd say 58, 57. That's it. If you don't run at that time, go do something else. Like, go do something else. Like, you can't be president, bro. Because I don't need these old bums like over here, like, yeah, we need to go to war. That's not the conversation. We need to go back to Iran. We need to. Oh my God, they assassinated somebody. You know what? I think we gotta go to war with them.
No, I agree with you.
You
I
know,
feel
like-
like no, you're right. There needs to be a cap, but I feel like in terms of going back to the qualifications, I feel like we need, and I'm not saying you have to have education to be a good president, but I feel like it's a requirement to have a certain level of education
Yeah,
to be a
I agree.
president.
I agree.
Like, you cannot tell me. And I don't want to sound like I'm saying college education is everything, but at least you need a degree
For the president?
For the president, you need to.
I say some college at least. You have to at least.
You have to
graduate.
have
You-
some.
For me, you gotta just go through 4 years.
I think
Because
you gotta
in those-
take a master's, man. You gotta go as far as a master's.
Honestly,
I don't know
I don't know about
masters.
masters, but honestly, like, you cannot tell me that we can have a president who can't even.
You can't
Like,
read.
who can't even point out where the countries on the map are, bro?
Trump can't
Like,
read,
no,
bro.
we can't do this.
Some can't read. Bro.
And
That's just it's shameful to have.
It is, it really is.
You know what's shameful? It's shameful of us as a country
Yes.
to require such high expectations of someone to be a lawyer than someone to be a president.
That's
Exactly.
a fact.
Like-
no, I agree.
That's absurd to me. You can't tell me that we're gonna have this level, this test that's so high. Very few people pass it. For someone to be a lawyer, but for a president, you got to be a certain age. Born in this country,
Get
have a lot of
lucky.
money,
Get
have a lot of
lucky.
money, and you're pretty much
Yeah,
good.
get lucky.
That's it.
Yeah, you're
So
good.
I don't know. I think for me that's fundamentally something like we have to go back.
And I think going through college, I guess depending on, if especially you go to a public institution, I think that forces you to be around people that normally you wouldn't be around. And I think that's where a lot of Trump's ignorance is from. And I think a lot of politicians, they've never experienced half the things that they're trying to push or say that they're for. And I think ultimately they don't really put too much effort into pushing things such as like they don't see the importance of Medicare for all, free education, things of that nature, because for them, mommy and daddy always just take care of it. It's never been a problem. So that was never something that they had to deal with. So that's not going to be their primary concern in pushing. Even the corporate Democrats, that's not going to be their thing that they're going to be like, oh, I want to see if we can make things easier for the next upcoming generation of students or people. Instead, it's just like, no, let's just adhere to my agenda. Pretty much, let's just adhere to the corporations. Let's just do another tax cut, and they'll be happy, and that's that. Because I was raised in the middle class, and they love saying middle class, but
I made it
upper middle class.
Yeah, I made it, so why can't you?
Exactly.
That's
so
their mindset.
That's kind of how I view that. But again, what do I know?
I think that going back to what you were saying, if we change the way we elect politicians, I think that's going to be the only way for us to sort of like curb this two-party system of like having to pick, the lesser evil of whoever ends up getting elected. I don't know if I never followed up on it. There was a question on the ballot of picking for people instead of like doing the two-party system.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anybody know how that ever came out?
I didn't even track it. Honestly. Yeah, no, maybe to my ignorance, I didn't even track it.
Yeah,
because we've been conditioned to believe that it's just
Democrat, Republican.
Yeah. So,
and then you have a Kanye thrown in there just to kind of spice things up. But,
we talked about that.
To add some attention to the president. So ultimately, do you guys believe that? So I guess we can come to the consensus. Do you believe that ultimately Trump is just bad, Biden good? Is it kind of like that, or do you guys think it's just a mixed bag?
I think, honestly, if you just say Trump is bad, you're very ignorant. If you say Trump, Biden's good, you're even more ignorant than I thought you were. If you're not just looking at who they are, where they came from, all that plays into them, how they view many things. Like I said, there's some things I do agree with Trump. For example, a lot of people don't know, Trump removed the whole punishment thing from not having healthcare, because if you didn't have healthcare and you did your taxes, you would have got screwed on your taxes. He removed that. So when I did my taxes, I didn't get punished for that because I don't think you should be forced to get healthcare. If you want healthcare, yes, you can get it, but you shouldn't get punished for that.
Let me stop you right there. Let me ask you a question before you go any further. Do you believe in absolute good or absolute bad?
I believe in absolute and absolute bad.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
Alright, then I understand where you're going. Because it's like you can't say Trump is all good or same thing for Biden. So
I want to judge him on what he does on this, what he does on that, what he does on this, and what he does on that. The thing with Trump is that he just doesn't have a filter. He's just raw, and people don't like that because he's a walking embarrassment. Honestly,
I feel like to fairly judge Trump, you have to suspend your emotions towards him for the time being. To fairly look at everything you want to look at, right? Because I feel like there are some people out there, my family, I won't say them. I have some family members who, no matter what you tell them, to them, Trump can never do anything good. It's like he's done. The moment you say his name, you can literally see their face change. Period. So it's like, for someone like that, you can't ask a person like that and be like, what do you think of Trump? They're gonna be like, he's trash. So,
and that's media. In my opinion, that's media manipulation at its finest. I believe that, though I do believe Trump is terrible. Like he's not good. Like honestly, from face value, he's not good as a president.
He's not a good person. I can't look at him, not because I don't know him.
Yeah,
I can't say that I know him. From what I know and like in terms of what they, again, media. The media is portrayed
as a president.
He don't look like a good person overall.
No.
He to me,
I don't know, Max.
President.
Like
he's a terrible. Trump is a terrible example. Period.
To be fair, I feel like that's a generalization. I feel like you have. Are you saying Trump as his like personal character?
I'm talking about president.
I'm talking about president and character.
As a character, the media portrays him as a terrible human being. I'm not gonna judge him as a human being because I personally never met the person.
Right.
As a president, for what he was told that he's supposed to do, he is a Republican to the T. Everything he passed,
absolutely.
He was a Republican. That's why Republicans love him, because he ultimately, at the end of the day, Besides, the only thing Republicans hated about him was his mouth. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a
Everything
good
else
tool.
he did for them, he did everything for them. He passed every immigration. They've been complaining about that for decades.
He gave
did
them a
it for
wall.
them. He built them a wall. He changed up. He did crazy tax cuts for the corporations.
Yes, he did.
And that's all that matters, right? For them, right? That's really all that matters. He did tax cuts to the corporations. He built them a wall, to make the alt-right happy.
Yep.
And then what else did he do? He didn't listen to anything that the Dems wanted.
Nope.
And
No, you absolutely. I feel like you're definitely right. He's the Republican they wanted. The only thing that they didn't count on was that he also had his personal agenda.
Exactly.
That's what they never counted on.
They couldn't control him.
Ultimately,
They couldn't control him.
Because he came in and he's like, you guys will get what you want.
But I'm gonna do what I want.
Yes,
Because
I have to.
And as Max always, when me and Max talk in private, it's because at the end of the day, he loves the spotlight. He loves the attention. Because honestly, if Trump shut his mouth, he would have got reelected.
Yes, he would have.
Without a doubt.
I think
No,
so.
no, he would have.
Without a
Without a
doubt.
doubt.
He would if he shut his
Let's
mouth.
think about it. Having been as tense as this country was for the past 4 years, he's still got over 70 million votes.
75.
Because
Think
at the
about
end of the
it.
day, Americans only care about one thing: economy. You see, we all. I think the thing we front about is everybody always pretends that they're for the social reforms and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, people only care about their wallet.
That's true.
And what was Trump doing? No matter how racist and stuff, or whatever we presume to be, everybody was happy because we got pay raises, the economy went up, money was coming in, the stock market was doing great. America, even I think gas was even down.
Gas almost hit below $1.
Yeah, so, and then on top of that, he gave us money during the pandemic, so if he just shut his mouth, the one thing he can't do, he's incapable. He's incapable because I think he's an attention whore.
Yes,
he's incapable. He, to me, is like, if any celebrity was president, that is pretty what they would be like. He's incapable of shutting down Twitter, shutting down Instagram, incapable of not talking to the news media. He loves it. You can see in his face. He loves the back and forth. He loves being in the headlines every single day.
I think he missed it, man, from when he was on TV.
Mm-hmm. he turned the president.
But the thing is, I don't think he missed it because I feel like, think about it, before he became president, he never got as much media attention as he got as president. So I don't know if he missed anything. If anything, I feel like he just wanted more of it.
Yeah, he was like
give me more, give me more.
Well, ultimately, him winning was a fluke because his goal was to get number 2 and then use that publicity to get another show and make a couple books. When you won, his son said, I looked at my dad and his face looked like he just saw a ghost. He was in disbelief he actually won this. So him winning was a big fluke, honestly. But it was also a giant FU to the establishment. Don't be fooled.
I feel like we in America, for America to see the changes they want to see, have all of this universal healthcare and have a green planet
Like
and
the rest of the Western world.
like the rest of the Western world. I feel like for us to have that, we have to change the way we operate as a country, which I don't think is ever going to happen.
I agree.
This is a capitalist run economy.
Society. Not even
Yeah,
economy.
It's
society.
society. So
It's
it's
inbred in our
so it's
culture.
you're right. So that's not going to change in our lifetimes,
No.
right? It's not going to change overnight. And I feel like
That's why people like AOC sounds crazy. to me.
exactly. So it's I feel like
just to be honest, not to say she's saying anything wrong. It's just her rapid change on what she wants. It's as simple as this, that, and the third. Lady, you're even selling t-shirts. You're selling.
no. At the same time, though, I'm not saying what she's doing is wrong because I feel like you need someone who voices concerns so they can be kind of considered, right? But at the same time, though, I feel like there's only so much change this country can accept and change
in time.
in time. But I feel like what we're asking of it right now, we're not going to be able to see. We're not going to see universal healthcare. We're not going to see all these things we're looking
Which
for.
is sad.
And
And the crazy thing is, it's as simple as signing an executive order.
It really is.
It really bothers me when I see other countries. They just do it. It's just done. How are we?
Canadians are getting $2,000 a month since the beginning.
Since the beginning of
this,
this,
$2,000 a month.
the crazy thing
We got a $1,200
One.
Since March. Since March.
And we want to.
What country was it where they had healthcare is just free? Like,
That's
there's
like
so
most
many
of, that's
countries.
most of the Western
So
world.
many countries.
Finland,
There was a
Iceland.
country that just passed free, old women get free feminine healthcare.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. That's new to me.
I think that's
They just passed that like last week, this week.
I don't think it's France. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. But it's like, can you like in America, something like that is still not happening?
I know
like,
I know fraternity leave in Europe. It's like 2 years.
That's nothing. Oh no.
You give
Let me clarify.
they give you time to even raise your children.
Yeah. So right now, France. I think it's France.
It's France. Yep.
France right now. They've had this like maybe a couple of years ago. France right now. If you move to France with your girl right now and had a kid in France, whatever job she took, they will give her 2 years off paid to raise that kid because their population is declining. The shorties do not want to have kids, bro. That's how bad they need people. France, it's crazy.
But I think other countries, in terms of fraternity,
Yeah,
leave,
fraternity, yeah.
they're amazing with it.
Yeah.
Like America, people come here and will tell you like America's like healthcare system is so trash.
Yeah.
Like you can receive
Even
good
in
healthcare.
the UK, they were talking about it. The comparison.
They were shocked.
No,
They were shocked at how
we can have all those things. We can have 2 years, family off. We can have as long as we're willing to pay the taxes. But none of us is willing to do none of that.
And I'm here.
But we would
And
have
you're
to-
right, and you're right, and you're right.
We would have to come together as a nation. Like for example, I'll go back to France again. When they try to stiff the employees, they just don't work, bro.
Yeah, they
they
really
don't
right. They
work.
don't pay.
Because they pay the taxes, but
They
but
don't
that's
work,
fine.
bro.
America runs on small government. Don't touch my money. Let me make my money, and I'll figure it myself. Period.
Yeah, but when the road's looking crazy, you're upset, right?
I mean, people are always gonna be upset for some reason. It's like, but at the end of the day, it's like that's
So
how.
what's the tax difference in terms of other countries compared to us?
I think in America, what do we get? Like I know.
It depends on the way you.
The message is what 6.3, 7.3,
I'm not sure, to be honest.
something like that. But I
Oh,
feel
like
like
the state tax?
the state tax.
It's like 0.7 something, depending on state. Are you talking about federal or are you talking about state?
I don't know what I think it's federal wide.
I'm not too
I think state
familiar.
is 7.3 or 6.3. One of those. I'm not really sure.
I think I know what you're saying. I think because what people are scared of is it's like you're gonna lose half your paycheck.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
what.
But that's the reason why
I'm
those
losing half my
Western
paycheck.
countries. That's the reason why Western
So might as
countries.
well
I'm
get
confused.
You might
I might as well get
you
something
might-
out of it.
yeah, exactly.
Look,
You might as well get
here's
something
what-
out of it. You
no,
already
no,
losing
here's-
half
Guess
your
what? They're
bread.
taking like 30% of my check right now.
No.
35%. Yeah.
Here's how Americans think about it, right? It's like you pay car insurance every day, or every month, right? You use your car insurance every month.
I don't.
Exactly. So it's like that's how we look at it. It's like, why am I paying taxes, every paycheck, but I don't fall sick every time?
But I am paying taxes every paycheck. That's why I don't
Not
understand.
not as much as you'd be paying
Thank you.
if we would have those universal health care things and like
Make,
we
but
pay
at
a
least
lot
make
more than that. But
at
the
least
thing
make
is,
your
like,
bread work for you. You're already getting
the
fucked.
argument is most people are like, for some of the men, not all of them, for some of the men especially, will be like, why would I be paying so much taxes in a healthcare system that does not benefiting me directly?
No, it's not
I feel like-
benefiting you now.
Exactly, but
Now-
they're looking at it selfishly, as in right now. So it's like, why?
But
If I need it, let me pay for it then, right? That's how they want to look at it.
No, I don't understand.
So it's like-
I get it. I get it.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
I get it.
No, I get it.
until
I
you change
understand
that,
it. I
thinking,
understand it.
people are not gonna, want to give up their bread. So
I
it's
mean,
like,
hey, even the Social Security is a scam.
of course,
Well,
the retirement.
Like, it's,
come on.
like we're paying for the old people now, so
Yeah.
that when we get old, the young
The-
people can be for us.
It's
So
a yeah.
stupid. So like,
it's a cycle.
it's so
a cycle.
stupid. It's like. At the end of the day, it's just a way of like I feel like it's like money laundering. Like they just come in, like they just grabbing money, like just grabbing money from here, y'all. We just gonna do here.
It's really mismanagement of funds on a crazy
on
scale.
a
I don't-
crazy scale. Yeah, no, it is.
Because the stuff is possible. They
Yes.
take the trillions of dollars they put in
That's
wars
what-
and they put it into
that's
healthcare.
what pisses
What
me
are you
off. That's what
saying?
I'm
Like,
saying.
it's possible.
Exactly. No,
I don't have to
we
pay any more taxes. They can do it. They just don't want to
And
do
I
it.
just thought about it. I got an epiphany. No, it pisses me off because it's like, no, you're putting $1 trillion into military, then we gotta
Yeah.
budget a little bit and like, nah, shut up.
No,
Like, nah.
no.
It don't work that way. Nah. It don't work that way.
You guys
No,
don't understand.
no. Because I get your point, but it's like, well, why can't we just pay what we're paying now? Like literally just pay what we're paying now. And then that other 70% of our income that you love to throw into random wars or overseas,
Yep.
why don't we bring that here? What would that do? That would
That would give us everything
give
we need.
us what we need. Everything that we need. Okay, fine. You want to be greedy, so you still want to go to war? Fine. How about half of it?
Yeah, half.
How about half?
Any percentage of it, I'll
How
take.
about half of it?
Yes, half.
Yo, listen.
Come on, you guys got to be
Until
tight, bro.
no, listen. Until you get lobbyists
Just
and you
but
pay them enough
No,
to
yeah.
go in there and fight for that, nothing is gonna change.
No, but the lobbyist
Same.
is just Trump's sons. They just like he just says like he just goes. He's like, yo, make sure my money's over. Make sure my money's right over that bet. I'll go to Citibank for you tomorrow. Make sure we keep the chaos. Keep the division going, so the people can be distracted while you in the background you're set when you leave the presidency.
Oh, do you know why you don't have a job? Is because of this, that, and the other. Like, for example, I just found out the other day, Facebook, what they did was so OD, bro. They found a way to keep undocumented immigrants on the payroll without having to pay actual Americans the bread. It's so messed up. Like, you guys have to look it up. It's so messed up. I'm just like, so what you guys say, you guys love to bitch and complain that these immigrants are the issue, they're taking your jobs, but look at this company that you love.
There's no immigrants that are taking anyone's job. That's globalization. Globalization took your job. It's gonna take our jobs, unless you keep switching up and trying to do something different. But no immigrant is gonna come over here and take a job.
So the jobs that are being taken by immigrants, right, quote unquote, are jobs that A, entry level, right, for the most part. B, you don't want to do them.
You don't want to do them. You really don't.
You don't want to do
wanna
them. And C, they need to be done anyways. So it's like,
Who's gonna do them?
Who's gonna do them?
You don't want to do them, but you don't want to give them to the
everybody else.
immigrants.
So you know what I'm saying? So that mentality to me is just like you just want
You want somebody to
problem.
come
Yeah, you want something to be mad at. You want
No, here's the
something to be
thing.
mad at.
I guess they're right in saying immigrants took their job, but it's not like immigrants came to America to take their job. The companies here, outsourced their jobs and brought immigrants sitting over there through globalization. Period. So it's like,
I mean, do you want to make 5 cents an hour in another country?
exactly.
Is that that's your wish? Okay, then go over there and get your job. It's so stupid.
If you tell any business person where it's like, yo, I can have 3 people do a job and pay each person $10 an hour, or I can have this machine do the same job.
They're gonna put them
I
They're
mean,
gonna
are you
outsource.
kidding me?
That's why all the call centers are outsourced to
Exactly.
India and all
It's like,
those
come on,
countries.
man.
They're gonna outsource that, route the call over to India. They're gonna call, they're gonna answer.
If as
That's
a
it.
business or country, your main point is to drive profit. You're always gonna look at places and positions to make money. And if it's cutting people to replace them with machines, or cutting people and taking those jobs, outside of the country, you're gonna do that until you make profits. Period. You know who they care about? The only person they care about? Shareholders.
No, I'm hip. No,
yeah.
I'm hip. But it's gonna reach a breaking point, though. Honestly, one.
Not in all that
No,
time.
no. It's gonna reach a really bad.
So long as the corporations, I think we can all come to an understanding that corporations is our real president, anyways. Like they really run the country.
They really do.
We think that our senators and our lobbyists, all these people, honestly, in my opinion, lobbyists has more influence than the president, because the lobbyists can just be like, oh, we need the money to go here, we need the money to go there. You remember that favor you owe me from 2 years ago? I needed to go there. That's how it works. And if you guys don't believe that, just watch a great show called House of Cards. That opened my eyes to like so much that happens. I mean, it's fiction, but in a sense, they do. This is the way they behave. This is how they act. And the reason why I know is because when I do some reading, and then when I've watched even other political like documentaries and movies, it's the same thing. They do the same thing. So I realized that the president is just, even the president's council, you probably passing laws based on what his boys are telling him versus what he actually feels, because his boys can be like, listen, man, we don't really care what you want to do right now. We need our bread over here. And if you don't do that, we exposing you.
That's facts. No, that's facts. And ultimately, I feel like I mean, a lot of people can say this is on being a conspiracy theorist, but I ultimately think that's why they capped Kennedy, bro.
Oh yeah.
Kennedy didn't listen to nobody. He did what he wanted to do.
No, that's true because they did 2 things that they wanted to do. They did 2 things. He got out the war.
Yes.
And what was the other thing? It was something to do with the civil rights. He got out of the war.
Yeah.
And he quelled the racial division. What they did? Capped him.
Simple.
Because the racial divide was what they needed
to justify
the war. You understand? And when you cap him, they said that was like a message to the future presidents to fall in line.
Pretty much.
And they said the other one that tried to make a change that capped was Abraham Lincoln.
Yes,
they said,
kept him
what did he
too.
do? Freed the slaves, and he did something else, and they capped him. Because at the end of the day, it's like they cap you when they're losing bread. For example, the war. Come on, the war is for money. That's what it is.
War is a racket.
War is just for money. You know, and I think we uptake the wars even more after World War II because we profited so much out of World War II because it took us out of our recession and made us like a world power in like 4 years.
Manufacturing went up like crazy.
It was crazy, yeah. And we saw that the war money was good money for us, so we use that. So any president that talks about getting out of war, notice how their tone changes real quick once they get in office.
When they get it, yeah.
No, it really
They're gonna get
even Trump now. Trump said he's gonna remove. He said he was gonna remove the troops. He got what 2,500 out somewhere, 500 out somewhere else, but there's still troops there, bro. He's just Biden is just gonna exactly. Biden is just gonna put him back. It's like, so what are we doing? I don't know. It's just.
I mean, we can touch upon more, but I think we got a good conversation going.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more to be said, but I think we touched the main points.
We'll be here all day too, like going in circles. Seriously. But guys, I appreciate having you two on. This was a pleasure. I think we have to have like a second part to this soon. You know, we'll let Joe Biden get warm.
Let marinate.
Marinate in the seat.
Before we go, I have one more question. Let me see if if you guys thought about this. At what point, right? Because I feel like it's more prevalent now than before, where like we people don't use common sense when it comes to certain things. Where it's like, bro, like that's objectively like obvious. You know, I feel like we've gotten to a point where it's like people can deny certain things that are too obvious, right? You tell somebody like, yo, that hat is yellow, and they're like, nah, man, it's like red.
Oh, because they feel it's red.
Yeah, because they feel it's red. When do we get to that point where it's like people just like suspended or like threw out whatever was factual in front of their eyes, and we just like, you know what?
Because
what do they call it? Subjective truth now, or subjective facts, whatever.
Well, it's because it's based convenience.
Yes.
On what though?
Convenience in the fact that it's easier to believe the lie versus the truth.
But what if the convenience is coming at a cost? Because it doesn't matter
what. It doesn't matter what cost. What cost to who? To the society or yourself?
I mean, both.
But see, some people are so stupid that it doesn't even matter if they don't even see that it's caught. For example, you say, I hate Bernie. Bernie's a socialist, this, that, and the third. You know, oh, he wants to help, minorities, this, that, and the third, right? But this is coming from, let's say, an alt-right Caucasian who is poor and would benefit more from everything Bernie's talking about versus what Trump is saying. But you just want to support Trump because just because you feel in your reality, in your convenience, he aligns with like what you believe.
Not even. I mean, I get what you're saying, but not even that. Let's say, I mean, look at something similar to that, right? Let's look at, let's say, on the Republican side, right?
Yeah.
You have Republicans who completely like disagree with what Trump is doing, right?
Yeah.
But then you have those who completely support what he's doing, right? There's certain things where Trump has like he said certain stuff, and you're like, bro, like, why would you even say that, right? It's obviously.
But they still support him.
They still support him.
It's like you're thinking too deep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's easy. You know why? Because their bread is buttered at the same table, bro.
Yeah, they don't care. At the end of the day,
Ted Cruz, right?
Oh,
Ted Cruz got disrespected by Trump.
His
right?
wife.
But who was one of the first people sucking him off as soon as he got the chance?
I think there's gonna be. I think maybe not now, but I think there's gonna be at some point where
you're thinking too deeply.
No, maybe I am.
But you're thinking very, very intelligently.
Yeah,
what you're saying is very
right.
It's correct. But what I'm saying is.
And here's what I was gonna say, something else, because this is going back to why I asked this question, right? There's people like in Congress, right? Mm-hmm. Mitch McConnell, and everybody surrounding Trump. Trump is smart for one thing. He surrounded himself with he insulated himself with so much protection that you really you have to work so hard to try to bring him down. One of those people is Mitch McConnell. I get to a point where I'm like, bro, I get it, right? You can play politics because you're Republican, I get it. But there's certain stuff where it's like, for example, like Trump refusing to concede. It's like, come on, man. Like you're
it's a game,
It's like, what are you doing?
It's a game.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's gonna be consequences, right? Later on down the road from this stuff. Like, people are not thinking about right now.
What they're saying is, they love to say it started with this person, but what they're saying is, for example, you know how Trump just be writing executive orders?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like-
Everything is in order.
They say that he learned that from Obama, because Obama was doing that. Obama was just writing executive orders, right? And they're saying that. I know. I watched the movie with
Vice.
Vice. I watched Vice.
Oh my
And like,
goodness.
it was very pure genius how Dick Cheney tried to interpret the constitutions and the powers of the presidency. Very genius. Like, so a lot of the powers of the president is left to interpretation. So they're just stretching the powers and limit to what a president
I
can
mean,
do.
have you seen what Bill Burr's been trying to do?
Yeah.
Homeboy's crazy.
Yeah, nuts. Nuts.
He's stretching that. Oh my God.
But it's like, for them, it's like that's why Trump always reveres dictators, because he's trying to stretch the limits of the presidency to the point where he believes the president can almost do whatever he wants. And it's funny because a president low key can, because the president has immunity from all like federal cases too while he's president as well.
Yeah.
That's a fun fact.
It is.
So it's like when you combine all those elements together, that's why like Trump is like, he doesn't have to concede, because technically by law, right? He's still president until January, right?
Yeah.
And technically, he can still file his lawsuits until the electoral college, which is I think later this month, goes in, is in effect by when they all meet together and they vote the electoral colleges by state. With all that happening, he can still just sit around and say, "Oh, I didn't lose. I'm still the president." This stuff, because technically he's not lying. But we all know and the media, that the other medias that try to support him and do all that other nonsense that say, "Oh, it's not over yet," this and that. But now they're starting to say, "Oh, it's over," this and that. He's still getting mad. I mean, people just love being delusional. At the end of the day, people love being delusional.
I understand what you're saying, but it's not gonna happen. I don't think it won't happen. As Carl said, as long as it's convenient for them.
All right. Better question. If you think it's not gonna happen, what would it take for it to happen?
I think it would take the people coming together and getting out of their echo chambers and actually sitting down.
Well, what's gonna take them to come together?
Like
That's what I'm asking.
it has to take like a really bad, like Trump saying that, all right, I'm just not gonna leave. I'm running the kid for the sink.
Something
I
drastic.
can be
Something
president
drastic
forever.
has to happen where.
More drastic than having a pandemic going on?
No, yeah, something. I don't
sad.
know what's more drastic than that, but yeah.
Sadly,
Because it wasn't enough.
The American
Obviously,
people
wasn't
are
enough.
delusional. The American people are delusional.
Yes, they are. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad.
I feel like there's a certain level of ignorance, that's just going
No,
around.
the American people is willfully ignorant.
It's
to
crazy.
be honest.
How do you become a first world country and then you have this level of ignorance, just like going around and do everybody? It's crazy.
I mean, ultimately, we're just gonna have to take our lifetimes to figure it out. That's what it is. But guys, that was a good conclusion. But guys, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you both.
This was dope.
We're definitely going to have you guys on
I
again.
feel like so many of these conversations we have that we have to have another part.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
have to.
part
We have
two,
to.
yeah,
We
yeah.
can't.
It gotta be another
We
part.
can't. We gotta like keep it fresh. So we're definitely gonna have to have one. We're gonna let Biden,
man.
get his feet wet, and then we
After
can
2
go.
years.
We can go into the I told you so. No, after 2 years. After
You know-
6
you know-
months.
you know what?
After 6 months. No, I'm on him, bro. Like, I'm on Joe Biden because I swear people wanted, this change in America's happening. I bet 6 months. I want to see what he does in
I
6 months.
agree,
I gotta
I
give him 6
agree.
months.
Okay,
so
6
we can
months.
come back and we can discuss the progress in American society that's gonna just magically change overnight when he becomes president.
And let's see if y'all get that student loan debt off.
I'm
That
old.
10 racks.
I want more than 10.
I want
but
30, 40 racks.
I want at least 50. I can deal with 50.
Put the rest in the bank, right? Well, all right, guys. This is the JP and Carl podcast. Was happy to have you guys.
Of course.
Don't forget to subscribe. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And we got more content on the way.
Next episode is gonna be all the females.
All the ladies gonna be in the
man.
room. We're excited to bring you that, and we hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving. And we out.
We out.